In early 2025, Samsung was hit with a staggering $600 million fine by Indian authorities, sending shockwaves through the tech world. Investors panicked, and Samsung's stock dropped 8% in a single day. The fine, India's largest ever for a foreign tech company, followed months of investigations into Samsung's tax practices. Suddenly, Samsung's future in India, once a pillar of its global strategy, was in doubt. For over a decade, India was Samsung's rising star. With more than 1.4 billion people, India's market was massive, bigger than almost anywhere else. By 2022, India overtook the US as Samsung's second-largest smartphone market. Samsung built the world's largest phone factory in Noida, investing $700 million. For Samsung, India wasn't just about sales, it was about pride. Trouble started brewing inside Samsung's Indian factories in late 2023. Workers went on strike demanding better job security and higher wages. Many of them were contract workers hired through agencies with little protection. Labor unions accused Samsung of ignoring promises and exploiting local labor. Strikes spread from Noida to Chennai. Protests shut down production lines for days at a time. Workers wanted not just better pay but long-term contracts and benefits. They also asked Samsung to fund education for their children, something local politicians pushed as a condition for operating in India. Samsung tried to negotiate. It raised wages by 8% and promised more permanent jobs. But the strikes continued, costing the company millions in lost production. Local media covered the unrest, painting Samsung as a foreign giant unwilling to play fair. Pressure from state governments grew. They warned Samsung to meet local demands or face action. For Samsung, used to fast, flexible production, these demands felt heavy and unpredictable. The Make in India dream was becoming a nightmare. Even as labor troubles simmered, Samsung faced another front: tax authorities. In mid-2024, Indian tax agencies accused Samsung of underreporting income and evading duties on imported components. The government said Samsung owed hundreds of millions in back taxes, penalties, and interest. Regulators raided Samsung's regional offices, seizing documents and freezing some accounts. The company denied wrongdoing, saying it followed all local laws. But the legal process moved swiftly. In December 2024, the final verdict came. Samsung was ordered to pay $600 million, including fines for violations of foreign direct investment norms. The penalty shocked other foreign firms who saw it as a warning shot. Samsung's lawyers appealed, but Indian courts were unsympathetic. The tax authorities argued that Samsung had used shell companies and shady accounting to dodge rules, a claim the company fiercely denied. This wasn't just about money. The fine threatened Samsung's ability to operate in India. Suppliers, retailers, and even customers started to worry about the company's future. For Samsung, the sense of welcome in India was quickly fading. The combined weight of worker strikes, political pressure, and the massive fine made Samsung's leaders reconsider their entire India strategy. The company had tried to invest, hire locally, and follow the rules. Yet trouble only seemed to grow. Each year, new demands and new penalties arrived without warning. Internally, Samsung executives debated, should they double down and fight, or was it better to cut their losses and look elsewhere? Some argued India's market was simply too big to quit. Others pointed to the growing list of foreign companies hit by taxes and raids, saying Samsung could be next. In early 2025, Samsung quietly halted new investments in India. Factory expansion plans were shelved, hiring froze. Behind the scenes, the company started moving some production to Vietnam and China. Suppliers were told to prepare for change. By March 2025, the writing was on the wall. Samsung would scale back its Indian operations, shifting focus to friendlier markets. The $600 million fine was not just a blow, it was the signal to leave. In April 2025, Samsung's chairman Lee Jae-yong made a high-profile visit to China. He met with local business leaders, government officials, and even China's prime minister. Photos of Lee shaking hands with Chinese executives filled business news worldwide. Lee's visit wasn't just symbolic. Samsung announced plans to invest $1.2 billion in new factories and research labs in China. The company signed deals with local suppliers and telecom giants. Lee praised China's predictable policies and support for business growth, a thinly veiled comparison to India's chaotic environment. Chinese officials welcomed Samsung with open arms. Tax breaks, fast permits, and help with land and logistics were all on offer. The message was clear. China wanted Samsung's jobs and technology, and would do what it took to get them. For Samsung, the contrast with India couldn't have been sharper. In China, growth was encouraged, not punished. The company felt it had found a new home for its smartphone empire. Why is China so attractive for Samsung right now? Well, the answer starts with scale. China's smartphone market is the world's biggest, with over 900 million users. Even as the market matures, demand for high-end devices and new tech remains strong. But, China offers more than just consumers. The country boasts world-class infrastructure, ports, highways, and power grids that keep factories running smoothly. Labor laws are predictable, and the government works closely with big companies to solve problems quickly. Samsung's suppliers are mostly nearby, which helps reduce costs and delays. China's government has also rolled out special incentives. Samsung gets tax cuts, access to new industrial parks, and help with hiring skilled workers. The company has already doubled its manufacturing capacity in Suzhou and Tianjin. By 2026, Samsung plans to export 50 million smartphones a year from China, more than it ever shipped from India. For Samsung, the message is simple. China is stable, scalable, and supportive. After years of headaches in India, these advantages are, honestly, pretty hard to ignore. Samsung is not alone in feeling squeezed by India's regulators. Over the past 5 years, dozens of global firms have faced similar troubles. Apple, Xiaomi, and Oppo have all been hit with sudden tax demands. Amazon and Walmart saw their warehouses raided and their business models attacked by new rules. Indian officials defend these moves as protecting local interests. They say foreign companies must play by Indian rules and contribute to local development. But critics argue the government is chasing away investment and jobs with unpredictable policies and heavy penalties. Foreign companies now see India as high risk. Many, like Samsung, have slowed or canceled new projects. The result? India risks missing out on new technology, jobs, and global partnerships. Local startups struggle to fill the gap, and consumers get fewer choices. India's crackdown isn't just about one company, it's part of a bigger pattern, one that could, honestly, reshape the global tech map. India and China both offer huge markets and skilled workers. But for companies like Samsung, stability matters. China's clear rules and steady support make long-term planning easier. India's unpredictability, changing rules, surprise taxes, adds risk. For now, China's efficiency and certainty win, but India's market can't be ignored forever. Samsung's decision to pull back from India and double down on China is more than just a business move. It's a warning shot to governments everywhere. Treat investors well, or risk losing them. For India, losing Samsung means lost jobs, lost technology, and a dent in its Make in India dream. For Samsung, the future is uncertain. China offers stability and scale, but also fierce competition and government oversight. India, meanwhile, may grow more open or even woo Samsung back someday. The global tech world will be watching closely. What does this mean for the future? Will more multinationals flee India's tough rules? Can India balance local interests with foreign investment? Is Samsung's shift a wise bet, or a missed opportunity in the world's fastest-growing market? The answers aren't clear. But one thing is for sure. The world of tech business is changing fast. What would you do if you were sitting in Samsung's boardroom? Is it time to bet on stability or take a risk for bigger rewards?